Here we go. Continuing.
Channel, I stumbled across the strongest lead I've had yet. Everyone knows Wikipedia, but there are countless other online encyclopedias that are created by fans. And these often skew more niche and specific. While researching the different eras, I stumbled across the Audiovisual Identity Database. It is bumper Wikipedia, and it is the most detailed.
Cutie, I feel like if more people were like you, this world would be a better place, plus baking would be much better industry as a whole. You don't know what I did before streaming. I was an arms dealer with a little bit of special K on the side.
Source for Disney Channel idents that I've found. The people that contributed to this database left no stone unturned. They even go as far as to list the fonts that Disney Channel started using at this time. Not only that, but they also have an entire section dedicated to the music from this era. They describe it as several drum beats which segue into a ska punk theme with electric guitars and a horn section, the last 4 notes of which become Disney Channel's signature jingle. And then, you see this. Composed by Tonal Sound and Elias Associates. I don't know how they know this, I don't know if it's right, but this is the most solid lead I've had yet.
Wait, why didn't you start on Wikipedia?
Alright, let's find Tonal Sound,
Creepy
Elias
Requiem
Associates.
thing of the Prime.
Here's Elias. Audio Identity.
Oh, it's not
pioneer in
Wikipedia.
the discipline of audio branding. Alright, they have a reel. Let's watch their reel.
Thank you for buying merch.
Oh, the MTV Moon Man. That's famous.
Oh.
Liberty, liberty,
And that annoying Liberty one.
Liberty.
They made Yahoo.
Wow, these guys are good, chat.
And Intel. And Honda.
We are farmers.
These guys are so good.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Man, you've got to be kidding me. I didn't see Disney Channel, but I just saw pretty much everything else. Elias Music is known as the leader in sonic branding and for its ability to bring stories to life through the power of music. Mercedes-Benz, Nike, American Express, Liberty Mutual, Honda, Google, Farmers Insurance, Apple. There is probably a better than not chance that whoever wrote the Disney Channel theme worked for Elias. Elias just happens to be the most popular music company for jingles and sonic branding in the world. This company has to have at least 10, maybe 20 composers at a time, maybe 100 composers. Well, it's not a good sign when I Google Elias Music Disney Channel jingle and the first thing to come up with any sort of relevance is the Audiovisual Identity Database. What is Elias Tonal? Again, first relevant result, the Audiovisual Identity Database, where we found the information in the first place.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here we go. Alex Lasarenko, a composer, founded Tonal Sound in New York City in 2002, and one of Tonal's clients was the Disney Channel. And here's a link to their website.
That's when I would have given up. I would have given up. Oh.
Okay, Tonal Sound does not exist anymore. Let's search for Tonal Sound Alex Lasarenko. Oh no, I think that's an obituary.
He died. He's dead. No good.
Yeah, he passed away 2 years ago. Man. Alex Lasarenko was my creative director for over 10 years during our shared time at Elias Arts. So it seems that Alex Lasarenko moved from Elias to Tonal in 2002 when the Disney Channel stuff was being written, which might be why both companies are credited here. And I just keep seeing the tonalsound.com. Gosh darn it. Oh wait, the Wayback Machine.
Itch, thank you for the
Prime. We don't have anything from 2002, but we do have stuff from 2003. Look at this old website. Andy Solomon, Eric Perlmutter, Michelle King. Andy Solomon is the VP of Operations at Definition 6, and he worked for Elias Arts and Tonal Sound. Andy's a producer. Let's look for Eric Perlmutter. Type in Eric Perlmutter Disney Channel. Oh my god. Disney Channel movie open intro 2002 old version. It can't be. It is! Oh my gosh. And this is Eric's company. He's crediting himself for writing it. This doesn't mean he wrote the theme.
Huge.
But the fact that we know that he at least wrote...
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. That's a win. I needed that. So our initial lead from the audiovisual identity database was Elias Associates and Tonal Sound. Through our research, we found that Alex Lasarenko was a creative director at both, started at Elias and then founded Tonal. We also found that he has unfortunately passed away. We know this because another
Shut up.
composer, Fritz Dottie, wrote a tribute to Alex, in which he claims that both Alex and him worked at Elias at the same time. This means that Fritz is also on the suspect list. Through the Archive Tonal website, we found mention of Andy Solomon and Eric Perlmutter. Andy was a producer, but Eric was definitely a composer, because through Eric's own website, we learned that he wrote the classic Let's Watch a Disney Channel Movie opening song. After digesting all of this evidence, I am now confident that Eric Perlmutter, while working at Tonal Sound, wrote the Disney Channel theme in 2002.
What?
Did you write the Disney Channel theme?
Didn't, no.
Do you know who wrote the Disney Channel theme?
No, I don't. I still don't.
Okay, what did you do for Disney Channel?
So for the Disney Channel, I wrote a whole bunch of little bumpers, and then I actually did the music for Disney Channel movie, which was sort of separate from all that identity stuff. And yeah, it turns out that people loved that.
Channel movie.
Were you given the lyrics, or did you write those lyrics?
Let's start a Disney Channel movie. Is there any other lyrics? Well, let's watch it. Let's watch a Disney Channel movie.
We are gonna watch.
And that's it. That's it. I don't know where I found the lyrics.
They just came to you.
To put that into the world, but yeah, it happened.
Wait, so you didn't write the theme, but you wrote with the theme?
Yes, so we would have the theme, mostly for those. We just had
That's
so
crazy
much
that
fun with
he
them
doesn't
that I
even
think
know
it
who
was
wrote it.
easy in that respect because they're so short. There's not really much time to make a statement. So the challenge was always find the essence of that 5-second little bit. And because you don't have long to tell a story, but you still need to tell that story of, I'm trying to think of one where the girl's jumping on her bed and it's a pillow fight and feathers are flying everywhere and it's over. Like you don't even have time to sort of set up an idea before it's done.
I just sent you a compilation of these idents.
Okay.
Did you write any of these?
Let's see. Okay, I did that. I did this one with the freezer. This is me. The bug. Yeah, I did this one too. Pillow fight. I did this one with the dog.
How'd you get the dog to bark like that?
That was me. Orf, 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 orf.
Wait, no, really?
Yeah, oh yeah. Those are
He's
the
talented.
That wasn't it. I thought you just pitch corrected
Oh,
the
no.
dog.
Nope, that was
you.
me barking. I think it's a misconception oftentimes with people who hear composer and you think about a guy with a feathered pencil writing, sheet music out of his mind, but most of the time it's just somebody on a keyboard coming up and recording in real time as they're creating and putting it all together at the same time. But when it came to these notes, it was pretty straight ahead.
And what was the name of the music house you did these with?
Elias Associates or Elias Arts.
So from my research, it seems like Elias is a really big company, probably the biggest music
Yay. Thank you, Colton.
house for jingles and sound signatures. Is that right?
Absolutely. That was my understanding, that they were the country's biggest, probably the world's biggest music house, bi-coastal at the time.
So that's probably why I'm having a difficult time trying to find who wrote that theme.
Yes.
It could have been probably dozens of people
Thank you for
at
the
the
2
time.
years.
Yes. And I think the company tried to harness this idea of there are no individuals here, a little bit of a nameless face. You weren't sort of allowed to be known.
Okay, thanks so much for doing this. My last question, did you work with a
Overshot joke. Thank you for the buying of the merch. Sorry, I kind of paused and I forgot what I was doing.
B. Owen.
Didn't, no.
Okay. I'm actually having a lot of trouble finding who wrote this.
When you create for Disney, it's Disney's. So Disney wrote the Disney Channel
Chubbs,
thing.
thank you for the prime. Damn.
Now you know, 'cause it's my super short show.
Disney 411. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Dude, I watched this TikTok about what was that thing? That show? Life with Derek. About how the directors made weird sexual tension between the stepbrother and the stepsister. And I was like, no way. And then I watched the TikTok and I was like, oh my God. That is so weird. We'll watch a compilation after this. It's so weird. It's actually so weird. Anyway, that's why I fucked my stepbrother. That show really taught me something. I'm kidding. My stepbrother's gay. After he fucks me. I'm just kidding. He is gay though. I love Brother Bear. Chat, you know what we need to find at my house? I had this box that I made at one of my Mormon girls' camps where I wrote a letter to my future husband and I filled out all this stuff. I had to fill out what age I thought I would be when I got married. I had to name my kids. I had to describe my husband. We can see if it's at my house, but...
So I just got a response from Fritz Dottie. He also did not write the theme. He said that if anybody were to know, it would be Alex Lasarenko. We unfortunately cannot ask him. It's been a few weeks now of no progress, so I think it's time to admit that the trail has gone cold. I've reached out to as many relevant people as I can find, most of whom did not respond, and those that did told me that they did not write the theme and have no idea who did. There is one more thing I can try, a last resort, and that is releasing the video. I've always known this was my break glass in case of emergency.
Way.
If I stop the video here and release it, someone out there watching must know who wrote this theme, or know someone who knows, or at the very least know who G. Owen is. I know it's anticlimactic, but I'm out of options.
Oh, there's 30 more minutes. He doesn't do that.
Case, which means there's only one thing left to do. It's really not surprising that I've come up short. Bumpers, idents, interstitials, they are designed to be seamless. They are not meant to stand out. Why would their creators be any different? Maybe I'm just making excuses. From the moment I started this investigation, I had an ending in mind. I thought it would be under more triumphant circumstances, but I hope it still plays well in defeat. And if
I'm a mouth breather right now because I can't breathe on my nose. I just saw myself in the camera. I'm like...
I'm being honest. I just really want to do this, so please indulge me. I'm Kevin Perjurer, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Turns out those kids didn't do it too bad.
Huh. That doesn't look right. Okay, let's try this again. Dang it. No, that's Zoo Pals. Okay, I feel bad for making fun of those kids earlier. I also cannot draw the logo. Yes, it's funny to see how off they were, but they looked tired and confused in those outtakes. I can't believe Disney would even release those. Oh my god. I know how to find the composer.
How?
Okay, so I just had a revelation. Who released the footage of the kids doing the wand IDs? Because these are not funny bloopers. This is not a gag reel that would be included on a DVD. I don't know when Disney would have released this in any official capacity. So I'm thinking that someone else did. That someone would need to have access to the footage. So maybe it was someone internally, but more likely it was some company that worked on the project. Okay, this is a news organization that released the footage. Hilary Duff and Raven awkwardly do wand IDs in unearthed Disney Channel promo BTS footage. This article does not mention where they got the footage, it just mentions that it was unearthed somehow. So this BuzzFeed article credits a Twitter account for uploading them, but then it also embeds YouTube links that are no longer available. Here's a Pop Crush article. Update, the playlist has been removed from public viewing. Who uploaded the playlist? So what if I YouTube the playlist?
Chat's watching ads.
Nothing. If I Google the playlist? Nothing. What if I just do this? We're getting somewhere. Oh my gosh. Last month, Atlanta edit boutique Guillotine Post released some exclusive throwback videos on YouTube from some post-production work they did on the iconic Disney Channel wand IDs in 2002.
Thank you, Cass.
Here's Guillotine Post.
Thanks.
They don't credit themselves for doing any Disney Channel stuff. This is Guillotine is a digital boutique in Midtown Atlanta. Oh my god. Glenn Owen. No, go back. Glenn Owen.
Oh
That's
my
G. Owen.
god.
That has to be G. Owen. State Line Films. Glenn Owen worked for Disney Channel. What is this?
This is huge.
It's
Oh,
one of the
no.
9/11 PSAs. The editor worked for director Glenn Owen. That is G. Owen. For Andrea Taylor at Disney Channel.
Oh
Here's
no.
Andrea Taylor, Senior Vice President on air, Disney Channel,
Thanks.
Toon
Thanks,
Disney,
Jeremy.
and SoapNet. Hey, that's the new way to watch soaps. January 2000 to January 2003 overhauled the network's image as a channel for sweet 6-year-old girls into a powerhouse that was cool for all kids.
Oh my
Responsible
god.
for all aspects of on-air promotion, packaging, stunting, marketing, advertising, sales tapes, synergy projects, online activity, and short-form programming. Everything except the shows. That's what this video's about.
S. Henderson,
She
thank you for
has
10
to know
months.
who wrote the theme. I really hope she responds to her inbox. So my first question is, what did you do at Disney Channel?
My job was to create personalities for networks, change them around or make them different.
What a cool
and
job.
then go on to the next one. When I went to Lifetime, it was not a network for women. There was a lot of variety of program, including medical programming. And when the head of programming and my group said, we're going to call this television for women, the head of ad sales said, oh my God, we're going to lose so much money. This is terrible. My job was to say, okay, here's what you got to do.
Early in my career, I've been the associate creative director for sports promotion at TNT, and Andrea was the creative director there. And so when she started working at Disney, she continued to use me to direct and produce their promotional work. She used Patrick McDonough a lot. He was amazing.
Patrick is great. I mean, he's designed so many networks.
I had been working mostly in sports. Andrea Taylor, who we did a redesign for Comedy Central. She then went to TNT. We did a redesign for TNT. Andrea went to Disney. That's how we started to get involved with the Disney brand and the Disney Channel movies, the wand IDs.
I was recruited from TNT to go to Disney to turn it from a network that was two things. They had a younger section that was like Bear in the Big Blue House. And then there was 6-year-old girly stuff. The goal was to turn it into a tween sensation. We knew that that's where Disney Channel could fit in and win and be amazing. It meant changing the programming, but that would take a little longer. But as you know, Disney didn't have commercials. So you had 40 minutes an hour of programming, and then I had 20 minutes an hour to fill.
And a lot of that was really clever synergy programming. Were you told by someone higher up what you needed to promote?
There was a meeting every week where there was a big, humongous conference room table where everyone would announce what they were doing that week, like to cross-promote.
Thank you, Emma
Like, I
Zoll,
wish
for the
I had
prime.
video from these meetings.
And
When
New
the
Age,
Lizzie
thank you for the prime.
McGuire movie was coming out, there was a meeting where someone would go, we're making napkins. The next group would go, we've got the lunch boxes.
That's
and
so
this
interesting.
started at least a year before the
Thank
movie
you,
came out.
Amy.
I started selling you stuff about Finding Nemo a year and a half before Nemo came out. I think we
Wow.
called them fishy facts. And it was all stuff to get kids interested in fish. So that
That's crazy. That's crazy.
when it came out, you liked fish.
And these kids were like, this is perfect because I'm already into fish coincidentally.
Uh-huh.
But it was not a coincidence.
They were
No.
right. I love
Okay,
fish.
that's a little sinister.
Mhm.
What is a network
She goes, uh-huh.
personality?
It's the feeling that you get that relates to that channel or that brand, and whether that's based on pacing or tempo or instrumentation or color or typography, animation. So all these different elements come together to create this vibe, feeling, essence.
The psychology of branding a network, it's the same as creating a fan for anything. You want you to be their first choice when they're going to look at stuff like, oh, that's my channel. So the competition was Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. So Cartoon Network was much more in your face, looked at more for boys because it was more loud. The philosophy at Nickelodeon was us versus them, kids versus the rest of the world.
Wow.
Whereas Disney was never an us versus them. Parents always felt better about Disney.
What do you remember about Zoog Disney?
Zoog was a weird thing. That was like a foray into the online world and the gaming world and creating sort of this existential world for kids. Technology wasn't necessarily where we needed it to be. It turned into a different thing.
Do you remember Zoog?
Oh yeah.
It was,
I think we did the zoo.
there was a
We
Zoog
did the
programming
Zoog.
block. I think, do you remember Zoog movie? Like,
Yeah, I think we did. We do Zoog. We did Zoog movie.
yes, you did, because it's the
He
same
lied.
kids jumping on that trampoline.
Exactly. I don't even know. I think Disney Channel movie came first, and then all of a sudden, I don't know. Andrea probably called and said, "All right, they want me to do this Zoog movie, but it should be just like this." Yeah, I forgot all about.
We always would say, like the jumping movie open. Those kids are probably all like parents and decrepit old people now at this point.
Oh my gosh,
We
that's so
worked
funny.
on what we called the promises.
Ian, thank you for the
I'm trying to
6.
remember what they were. Like one was express yourself. But when I was growing up, we
Ask
had
her about
magazines
9/11.
that told you what these stars loved, which, I'm sure somebody else wrote. And I thought that was great. Let's do that for now. I had them talk about
Damn, she was
their
good.
own personal lives so that kids would feel comfortable and feel like they could relate to the people on the channel. It looked like these kids all lived in the same house and they all knew each other, or they all like did things together.
Yes.
Believe me, none of these kids lived together. None of these kids did anything. Like a few of them did stuff together, but not that many. The only times they ever really got together was when I said, okay, there's going to be a shoot. You're all going to be here. You're all going to do this. And here's what you're going to say. They would watch
Wow.
Lizzie McGuire, and they didn't watch Tom Cruise and think he was amazing. They did think that she was more of a big thing to them. So
True.
the fact that they could get an insight into what all these stars felt about their mother or their brother was a bigger deal. That was their only path to that info.
And the weirdest thing that happened was then they became the most famous people in the world. Was
I know.
that weird to see? Were you like, whoops?
I know, it's pretty funny.
That's
What was the vibe?
crazy.
I mean, it was poppy. Like, what was it? What could you describe it for
Fun.
Disney Channel? Fun.
Fun, 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 and kind of magic. I mean, it makes me think about what the scenario of the kids in the cafeteria line. grays and neutrals and drab to like, in comes the, Disney logo, and it's glitter and candy and pink and delicious and syrupy. They were just these fun, funny little stories that were incredibly complicated and time consuming to produce.
Yeah, that makes
Elio
sense.
Hensley and I had come up with the wand idea because we loved
Damn,
Tinkerbell.
she came up with the wand
thing
idea?
Came during lunch or something, because we had the Disney Channel logo, so that's where the wand came from. It was very hard for the stars to understand what the hell we were doing, because remember, they were literally holding
She's a
stick.
genius.
Some were way, way off. You'd have to do it again. And then I would always say, okay, one more, which was a lie. We'd do 10 more.
Very good. One more.
Ooh, none of that.
They got tired of me fast, I'm sure. Just another annoying thing we're having them do on their day off.
What were the wand IDs shot around the same production of some of the Express Yourself?
It would be like a Lazy Susan. We would do the interview, then we'd have different B-roll sets. We'd have like that B-roll set where we'd have the strands of different colored plastic. So we would bounce them around and get B-roll on these different sets. And that would be one of the stops through their little, promo journey.
Okay, so all these iconic, classic, recognizable things for generations of children were in the same room.
Correct.
Not only were they shot at the same time or the same production, they were probably shot within 30 minutes of each other.
100%.
Wow.
So the big question I've been asking throughout
it.
all of this research, and the question that I really hope you have an answer to, is who wrote the Disney Channel theme, that 4-note mnemonic that started appearing when you were redesigning the channel? Do you have any idea who could have written that?
I worked with a guy, Alex Lasarenko, who is not alive anymore. He worked at a company called Tonal. He created that sound. I had worked with him for a long time. Like, I'd worked with him at TNT. I'd worked with him at Comedy Central.
So that 4-note mnemonic, that was definitely Alex Lasarenko.
Yeah, it was Alex.
Do you remember anything from the production when he was writing the theme?
He probably did it in like a day or two. It's like things came to him. He's amazing. I mean, he probably wouldn't have said he wrote it in a day. He probably would have said, oh, I struggled over it for months.
Do you know anyone else that would have known Alex or that would have been around for the
Literal
production of
Satan
these
gave you
tracks
the prime.
specifically?
It's a crazy name.
You know what? I could probably get you to the producer. I'm trying to think.
Dude,
of the
Andrea's
name.
the
No, I can't
best.
remember his name, who was the producer on it.
Andy Solomon?
Andy Solomon, that's who produced it.
Hi, I'm Andy Solomon,
Oh my
VP of
God.
Operations for Definition 6,
Dude, Andrea's
formerly for
pog.
Elias Arts and Tonal.
So when you started at Elias, is that when you met Alex?
Yeah, right away when I started at Elias, I started as a producer, so he was the creative director on all the jobs.
I assumed it wasn't Alex because he was always listed as creative director, executive
Right.
owner, eventually with Tonal. Through talking to people, he was also composing regularly.
Oh, absolutely. He's like a classically trained musician, done a
totally
million
think you're
different
the prime.
things, but had a knack for memorable melodies. It was almost like you could say the words to his melody, like whether it was Disney Channel. And I forget, we did work for Encore years ago, and it was 2 notes, and we'd always go Encore, and that was the melody. So, half joking, but I also think that was part of his process as well.
Channel.
Do you know anyone else that I could speak to about Alex?
His sister Lisa.
Lisa.
Do you know Lisa Lasarenko?
If you ever spent time around Alex, you would notice even when he was just casually sitting still, his right hand was almost like he had an invisible pen in his hand writing music. His right hand was always writing. I think in his mind, he was always thinking of things in a musical perspective.
I noticed towards the end of his life, he was credited alongside a David Little. Do you have his information?
My name's David Little.
Hi, David
I worked
Little.
at Tonal for, I would estimate, 12 years. I continued to work with Alex after that. I've never seen anybody that can just
Evan, thank you for the
that
10.
can do something as complex. Almost seems like effortless. He would just turn around and just like knock out like an amazing piece. I'm like, all right, what's next?
He's an amazing musician, and he was also in this business world, in the music for television and film and stuff. He was like fast.
You could literally write music in a couple hours and be done with it. I mean, it really came to him super fast.
The thing that I'm struggling with most right now is lack of photos of Alex. I found only one. Do you have any? Do you know of any?
You know, I knew him for probably close to 20 years or whatever, and I had 0 photos of him.
Wow.
He was one of those guys. He was like, if a camera came out, he was like, I'm out of here.
So Andrea Taylor told me that the theme was written by Alex Lasarenko.
How not surprised am I about that? A genius composer and a good friend. He's no longer with us, but he was really the sort of ringleader of all of our composers at Elias. It's tough when you have a boss who's a genius and who's just an absolute music prodigy, and you're just a dumb rock bass player trying to, live in the same, breathe the same air as him. As a young person, it was incredibly intimidating, but hugely inspiring, and he was a great leader and boss as well.
He was wonderful, loving, funny, so talented, so incredibly talented that it just was like nothing to him. He could, and being in his presence, especially while he was working, when I can remember. I'm gonna get I feel like I'm getting a little emotional right now, but those sessions where you would just show up at his studio and Alex would sit at the piano and just kind of go up.
For TNT, I mean, we conducted orchestras to do things, and it was just amazing to watch him work. And then for this, here he is doing pop music, like the same head.
Wow.
I love what I do. I get to make videos for a living on subjects that I'm passionate about.
Same.
That people watch.
Except for
I am
making
so lucky.
videos
And I am eternally grateful for
I'm
every
passionate
second
about.
that I am able to do this. But I'd be lying if there wasn't a small part of me that hates that this is called a video and not a documentary or a film.
You can call it a documentary.
That I am referred to as a YouTuber or a content creator and not a filmmaker or a documentarian
Oh, okay.
or
This
an
is
artist.
a little existential.
Because the truth is that I could do this, make videos on this platform every day until I die, and I would be happy every day.
Okay.
But that small part of me, that selfish, arrogant, pretentious, miserable part of me, would not be happy if that were my legacy when I'm gone.
Okay.
Because living my dream looks a lot different than I imagined as a kid, or even 10 years ago.
Okay.
I didn't know Alex Lasarenko, and unfortunately, I never will.
Okay.
I made this video 2 years too late, and I missed my chance to interview him. I can't ask him what it was like composing for commercials and networks. I can't ask him how he came up with the Disney Channel theme. But I think the first question that I would ask would be, are you okay with this? Do you even want to be credited with writing this theme? Because this was his most popular work. He composed for other networks and shows and commercials and films, some of which some people may recognize. But nothing comes close to these 4 notes. How could you compete with something that has been playing non-stop for millions of people for 20 years?
Right.
And according to everyone I've spoken with, he probably wrote it in a day. And he might not have thought about it again after that. It was just another job. Alex is well remembered by his friends and family and coworkers, but on a broader public and cultural scale, he does not have a well-defined legacy. There's the tribute that Fritz Dottie wrote, the IMDb page, the archived website, and one single photo. But when I release this video and credit him for composing this theme, it will likely become the thing that he is known for. And I'm hesitant to do that. I'm hesitant to condemn someone else to the fate that I fear for myself.
Jesus.
And worse,
Christ.
in this case, it's just 4 notes. There is an obvious solution to this, and that is to expose you to some of Alex's other work while I have your attention, to give you a broader sense of his talents and artistry outside of this 4-note mnemonic. I could play a few clips from his other compositions. I could link to some of his work and encourage you to go listen to it on your own. But I don't have to, because you've already listened to his music.
Whoa.
In fact, you're listening to it right now.
Wow.
And you have been the whole time.
Whoa.
Since the beginning. You've been listening to the music of the late Alex Lasarenko.
Wicked. Just thinking of those songs. He's good.
Do you ever think about your legacy as an artist at all?
I have lots of thoughts on the subject. You know, I asked my wife, there's a gentleman who's got in touch with me who's interested in the Disney work that I did. And is that what I would like to go on the record speaking about? You know, when I have these other parts of my work and all of this kind of, and then I thought, well, you know, I brought to it everything that I bring to everything that I do. Perhaps there's a sort of a grandiosity in the artist, in all of, probably in every artist, that wants to be the person who is remembered as, you know, the great, the serious, the world-changing. Maybe humility is accepting that we're not going to be in charge of how we're seen by posterity, and actually it doesn't matter, and that the work will speak for itself. Aliens coming from outer space without our preconceptions of what makes great art, or what our preconceptions of what our best work is, may have a completely different idea of what's valuable in terms of, you know, human creativity. A 4-note mnemonic that in its beautiful minimal simplicity completely encaptures an entire world of feeling and associations for millions of people across generations and around the world. I think that's a pretty outstanding legacy.
I agree.
He was just good at understanding the big picture of a lot of things. So when he wrote the music, I think he knew in his mind that something as simple as that 4-note mnemonic could have a shelf life of 20 years. I really do.
I have always been fascinated with programming breaks, bumpers, network identifications, and interstitial programming. Their existence is so practical, often necessary.
Is this a green screen? It just looks really good.
There is a part of me that wants to believe that the truest art, the most worthy, the most important, is the art which is created purely out of love for the form, the art that takes the longest to create, and the art that has the most to say. That the music played in concert halls must be better than the music written for commercials. That the films that play in theaters must be more important than those uploaded to the internet. That the programming must have more merit than the programming breaks. But I've never fully believed this. In truth, I am more drawn to the unsung artists, those whose work often goes overlooked. Whenever I have the opportunity to speak to these people, there is no shortage of passion, intent, or pride in what they do. It doesn't matter if it was just a job, or if they completed it in a day. It doesn't matter what platform it ended up on, or what they are referred to as. These are artists. They brought everything they had to whatever they were doing, and it showed.
Wow. He's doing the thing.
In the end, the production of a work is only half of the process, and maybe all that matters is that someone, somewhere, got something from whatever you created. And in the case of the Disney Channel mnemonic, that is indisputable. In the minds of thousands, if not millions of people, this music evokes feelings and memories, often long lost. This sound has the ability to bring back anything from the feel of carpet to the color of walls. It could return one's mind to a happy childhood, or represent a safe reprieve from a difficult one. It could be a symbol of a relationship with a sibling, or a parent, or a friend. It could even inspire future artists. All from a sound. Any one of us, artist or otherwise, would be fortunate, blessed even, to be remembered for a single note. So what a monumental achievement it is to be remembered for 4.
Wow, that was beautiful. Honestly, he could have like submitted that to Sundance or some shit. That was good. That's the crazy thing is he's like, I don't want to be known as a YouTuber. Bitch, submit that shit. That was good. That was beautiful. Wow, he's got a big team. What the heck? What do they all do? Wow. That's so good. Yeah, chat, go give him a sub, give him a like. Wow.